Hi, my name is Shaylee Quenzer, and today I want to talk to you about Papa John's Pizza. They are part of the NASQA, and their ticker symbol is PZZA. So I'm going to be bringing you through our business summary, and that's going to include Papa John's business model. It's going to be outlining their competitors, how dominant they are in the field. We're going to go through a strategic analysis, and then we're also going to go through a financial analysis. So we're going to be pointing out the key financial metrics, financial ratios, and then some recent share performance compared to competitors. And then we're also going to be highlighting some company news and some HR job opportunities. And then finally, we're going to be going over our footnotes. Papa John's was founded October 2nd, 1984 in Jeffersonville, Indiana by John Scatner. Their headquarters are located in Atlanta, Georgia and Louisville, Kentucky. There are over 5,000 locations in 45 countries and territories around the world as of 2024, but that number is still steadily increasing. It's considered a fast food restaurant, but every location has a different format. So there's family-style dine-in, where families can come in and eat their food at a table just like how they would at a restaurant. There's carry-out, where you can order online or come up to a window, grab your food, and take it home. And then they have hybrid locations where you can do a bit of both if you would like. And this is their product. This is their main menu. As you can see, they mainly sell pizza, but they're also reaching out to new flavors of pizza, new toppings. They also really want to specialize in sauces, get people excited about sandwiches, quesadillas, and of course they have dessert with it. So let's get into their key competitors. So their key competitors are Domino's, who's ranked number 1, Pizza Hut, who is ranked number 2, and then, of course, Papa John's clocking in number 3, and then number 4, Little Caesars. So Domino's is extremely dominant in this field, racking up a total of 41.3% of sales just in the US. Also, I want to clarify that all of these charts and all of this information is just within the United States. Pizza Hut racks up 25.6% of sales. Papa John's just barely beats Little Caesars by 17.6% of sales compared to their 15.4% of sales. So just these 4 companies alone make up about 55% of the market. And the other companies outside of this market take a large piece of the pie, but that's to be expected within the food industry. And food is extremely competitive. So Papa John's is doing very well for also being a new established company. They were only established around 41 years ago compared to places like Pizza Hut, who have been around for 60. So now let's talk about the strategic analysis. So let's go over their strengths first. So they have a very strong brand positioning. Their common logo is better ingredients, better pizza. You see that on commercials all the time. They have a large global footprint, so thousands of locations worldwide, and they get a lot of brand visibility. They also became extremely famous for using fresh, never frozen dough, fresh cheese, sauce from the vine, and they also have claimed to have the first national pizza chain to remove artificial flavors and synthetic colors from its entire menu, and was the first major chain to offer online ordering. And because of this, they were really able to make a statement in the market because their service was so convenient. Their mobile app is very advanced and very user-friendly and easy to use. Although I would say that their weaknesses are higher prices. Because they use such high-quality ingredients, of course it's going to be more expensive. And they have faced a lot of controversy in the past. Its founder, John Scatner, who was resigned from his role after making a controversial remark about the NFL national anthem protest in 2017. And then he used a racial slur during a media training call in 2018. So a lot of people stopped going to Papa John's because of their alignment politically. And then they also have a very slow innovation to their menu. I know in a previous slide, I was just talking about how they're trying to expand, but Domino's and Pizza Hut has been expanding way quicker and way faster. But there is many opportunities for them. Increasing demand for delivery. Their outreach is a lot longer because of Uber Eats and DoorDash. And they also have healthier alternative options like gluten-free, plant-based, a low-calorie item can attract a lot of new customers and new segments. The threats are, of course, the competition from not only the Big Four, but also thousands of local pizza restaurants. The ingredient cost and inflation, rising cheese, wheat, meat, big families that want to go out and eat, it is cheaper to just eat at home. So they can't really get a lot of portions from a company. You can't get as many people buying from you. There's also a lot of economic slowdowns. Customers, again, prefer cheaper options, and that's hurting the higher priced brands. Now let's look at the financial analysis for Papa John's. So they make about $2.09 billion in revenue. Their earnings clock in around 38.1 million, and their EPS is $1.14. And 2 years ago it was $1.89, so they are on the decline. Their share price is $38.55, and they have a 5-year performance of negative 2.24%. And this year alone, their performance was negative 15.46%. So over the past 5 years, Papa John's international investors have not seen any profit. And that is a really big hurt to the PZZA stock. And their market capitalization is 1.31 billion, which is not terrible, especially for a food industry. Also, I didn't mean to gloss over the number of share outstanding is 32.79 million. For comparison to all of these numbers, the market cap for the big three is 40.8 billion, and that's for Pizza Hut, and then Domino's is 13.5 billion, and Little Caesars is actually a private equity, so we do not have access to that information. And then their divided yield is 4.48%, and that fares pretty well. It's not the best, but at least they're keeping their head above water, better than average. Their total debt is 0.97 billion. Their current yield is 4.48%, and their credit is BB negative, and that's according to the S&P Global Statistics. It is not a terrible credit score, but it definitely could be better. Now let's go over some key financial ratios. So we're going to be comparing the operating efficiency of the Pizza stock, the Yum stock, and the industry average. So let's look at their asset turnover. Papa John's actually is doing very well for efficiently using their assets to generating revenue with a staunching 2.36 over the industry average, which is 1.2. And they're also doing better than the Yum market, which is a really good sign. But unfortunately, if we look at their liquidity, it's actually fairly low. And this is concerning because if all of their short-term debts were to come due at once, Papa John's wouldn't have enough readily convertible assets to cover them. Compared to Yum brands who do better than average, it is disappointing but it isn't something that they need to get to right now. At least it's above the negatives. Now, speaking of negatives, looking at their debt to equity ratio, it's actually fairly concerning, but at least they're doing better than Yum Brands, who are at a staunching negative 1.6%, and the industry average is 0.5. The industry average is quite low, but it is better to be in the positives than the negatives. So now let's look at their profitability margin. Their profitability margin is 1.83%, and that isn't terrible. It's very low for the industry average, and compared to Yum Brands, they are just absolutely crushed. But if they want to expand their market, they really need to get that up. They're not going to go into debt, but it's going to give them a lot more flexibility if they improve that. So I have put together this graph comparing Pizza Hut, Papa John's, and then Domino's. And in our most recent discussion in class, we learned how predicting the stock market is less of a science and more of an art. And I think that just looking at the unpredictability of Papa John's stock is really telling. As you can see, it has extreme highs, extreme lows, and it's currently on the decline. But they did get a new change in management, so I wonder if that has an effect on why it is declining. And then you see like this slight bit of growth when they got that new management change. So then the blue line is Pizza Hut, and that is Yum Brands. And that company doesn't just sponsor Pizza Hut, it also sponsors McDonald's. So it's a little more stable. It is a fairly predictable company because their sales, if they decrease in one, they have the other to fall back on. But unfortunately for Domino's, it has been on the decline this entirety of the past 6 months. And that has to do with store closures, and they've had to rely on third-party delivery services, which naturally makes food more expensive, and that's really hurt their sales. So now let's get into Papa John's employment. So currently they have 11,400 employees globally as of 2024. And then I got all of the rest of the information from LinkedIn. And there's actually 2 different career paths that you can go with the company Papa John's. So you can work at their headquarters, and you can be in the marketing and branding sector, finance and accounting sector, or the IT and technology center. Or you could be on the in-store or restaurant level positions. So you can be a crew member, delivery driver, or general manager. And those are more common jobs, especially for college students. So now let's talk about their recent news. So Papa John's promoted Ravi Thanawana to Chief Financial Officer and President of North America on November 20th, 2025, and that is a very big change for them. And then this was a little while ago, but I did want to mention it because it did heavily influence their company in the stock market and still is affecting them today. So Papa John's implemented a 7 to 8% price increase influenced by rising inflation, and this was reported by Nation's Restaurants News, and this was August 4th, 2022. They also put in a new menu changed, and that was the garlic 5 cheese crust pizza, and I'm personally most excited for that. And that's also really exciting for their company, attracting new customers, new people, and even now I want to go get a pizza because of that. So these are my reference where I got all of my information from, And also, I want to include a thank you for sitting with me through this lecture, and I hope you have an excellent day.